.ns.name.domain.name.suffix pings a node using its fully qualified domain name mapped to an IP address. Not all domains accept pings because they are protecting themselves from attacks. Just because a site will not ping does not mean you cannot gain access to the site, such as Microsoft. Destination host is the name of the remote host. The response of a request timed out. It means that there is no response to the ping attempt in the default time of 1 second. If the time delay experienced by a system of response is more than 1 second, use the /W option on the ping command to increase the time allowed. Let's try that. This is ping in Sagebrush Stables. It's an old site I used to have that's actually not really up anymore. It just still exists. Okay, it says it sent 4 packets, received 4, lost 0. Approximate round trip time was 27 milliseconds average, with the minimum being 26 and the maximum 28. So let's change that with the /W. Okay, I told it /W20. Statistics were very similar. Everything appears to be very similar. For example, the /W to allow responses within 5 seconds, you could use ping /W 5000. Let's try that. Okay, no notable difference actually. Note that reply in the output of the ping does not always indicate a positive response. You may receive a message from a router from an IP address destination that says not reachable, or destination net unreachable. If you in certain type of programming situations where you want to test for it, you can use what's called percent error level, percent comparison to 0. It means the host is probably up. Percent error level percent equals 1. The host is probably down. Successful ping does not always return an error level of 0. Therefore, to reliably detect a successful ping, you can pipe the output into a find and look for the next TTL. When a ping response is not successful, you can get a variety of error messages. Here are the main error messages and what they mean. Okay. TTL expired in transit. The TTL value determines the maximum amount of time an IP packet can live in the network without reaching its destination. It's effectively a bound on number of routers an IP packet may pass through before being discarded. This message indicates that the TTL expired in transit. The number of required hops exceeds the TTL time. Okay. Increase the TTL by using the ping-I switch. Let's try that. I'm going to set it at 1 to start with. Now look at this. Reply from the IP of my website TTL expired in transit. So it didn't work. We didn't have enough time. So let's try again and make it 5 milliseconds. Not enough. Okay, let's try again. We're going to make it 20. even though it took average of 28 milliseconds, we still had success by setting it at 20. That's kind of a strange animal, but okay, we'll set it at 30. That's the /I to change the time. Destination host unreachable. The host that you're trying to ping is down or is not operating on the network. A local remote route does not exist for the destination host, or maybe modify the local route table or notify the router administrator that it's down if you're not able to do that. And let's try something to see if we can get. They say Microsoft won't ping, and I don't know. Let's try it. Request timed out. Okay, so it's obviously true. It should try 4 times. That's the default it's set at. We'll see in a little bit. We can change the number of tries. It's timing out each time. Okay, request timed out. Request timed out. The ping command timed out because there was no reply from the host. No echo reply messages were received due to the network traffic or failure of the ARP request packet filtering or router area. You can increase the wait time to try and see if that was it, but since we know that it's reported Microsoft doesn't accept pings, then we won't try that. Some firewalls block pings to prevent attacks because that is a method that people can take down a network or a server, is by repeatedly pinging it, and that's probably why Microsoft doesn't accept them. Okay, another error message is unknown host. The IP address or the host name does not exist in the network, or the destination host name cannot be resolved. You should verify the name availability with DNS servers to look into that. Let's try something and just make up a name. Microfoot. Let's try that. It's actually a name. It worked. Okay. Do something garbled like. Request timed out. One try. It's trying again. Okay, we're going to end up with 4 packets because that's the default right now that we're trying. Okay, another option that we have is called -n, which is count, and it's the number of echo requests to be sent. So we're going to try that and go back to a site that works, my site. We're going to do -n. We're going to tell it to do 20 instead of 4. And there we go. While it's going, this music is my son's music. He's away at college and loves his music. Okay, 20, and we had results. Packet sent, it says 20, received 20. We're going to set this back to a default of 4 because it's easier to watch. Funny enough. There we go, and it's trying again. Okay, there's another option. CLS will clear the screen so we can start back at the top. Another ping option is called -I, which is TTL, time to live. It tells a network router whether or not the packet has been in the network too long and should be discarded. The original idea of time to live, or TTL, was that it would specify a certain time span in seconds that, when exhausted, would cause the packet to be discarded. Since each router is required to subtract at least 1 count from the TTL field, the count usually is used to mean the number of router hops that the packet is allowed before it must be discarded. So that concept concept's a tiny bit different than just a time concept. If it subtracts a 1 from every hop, the default Windows TTL for like 9598, which is old, was 32 hops. Some users recommended changing that to 128 if you have difficulty reaching sites. So we're going to try some time to live changes. And let's go to this one that we know would not work. We've already set it to 30. Let's set it to, well no, let's use one that we know works. We know mine works. /I3. And it actually worked. Okay. The ping and the trace route utilities both make use of the time to live value to attempt to reach a given host computer or to trace the route to that host. Trace route is something that's intentionally sends a packet with a low time to live value so that it would be discarded by each router in the destination path. So the time between sending the packet and receiving the ICP message is that it's discarded is used to calculate each hop travel time. Okay, that's having said a lot and not specifically about ping, so we're going to move on. Okay, ping option /W, we looked at that. It's the milliseconds to wait for each reply, each packet sent, how long you wait for each reply. The ping options -A resolves address to host names. Okay, for example, we see that my website is sagebrushstables.com. We can put in just the IP address and it will, let's do that, still resolve. Okay, there's the IP. Let's see what we get. Oh, look at there, pinging gig 2 to 3, GMBO CWNT-routing2.triad.roadrunner.org.com. So it's giving you the IP with 32 bytes. Okay, that didn't make sense to me. 30. Okay. Now -N is the number of echo requests to be sent. -T is the ping the destination host until interrupted. Okay, that would be like nonstop until we tell it to stop. So we're going to do a -T and let it go. See, we're at 4 going on. It's going to go on until I hit Control C or Control break. Now here's a control break. It stopped it and report. It sent packets of 15 and it went right on. Okay, so if I push control break, it stops and see it was repeating and it went right back to it. It just stops and gives you a report. Now it's still going with the -T until interrupted. Now I'm going to do Control C. That halted it altogether. It gives a report and stops.